Hi, I'm Blake Scarlevy with Route 16, and I'm excited to announce my very first XrmToolbox plugin. So I'm going to show off what this is and what it does. So as you can see here, it's called XrmCommander. Has this icon like this with like a command line, um, and that's essentially what it is. But the beauty in it is that if you are an admin or a dev or a configurator that has to work in multiple different Dataverse or Dynamics environments on a daily basis, then this plugin is for you. And especially if you have to work in multiple different tenants, this is really useful. And the beauty is that XrmToolbox allows us to tie connections to browser profiles. So if you're like me, I'm in multiple different tenants on a daily, weekly basis. I create separate browser profiles for each tenant so I can stay logged in because I have different credentials. Uh, and so when this XrmCommander allows me to execute commands easily against any given environment that I have connected, and it'll utilize the browser profile that I have tied to that specific environment. So this plugin allows me to like not have to keep all my different browser tabs open, because if at any given point, if I get a ping or a message, hey, can you check this out? I can just have this XrmCommander open, type in a command, and it'll take me right to that specific environment and the exact browser profile that I use for that environment. So let's take a look at what it looks like. I'm kind of making it like a beta version right now. I'm kind of interested to get people's thoughts on if this is something they would use and get more feedback on like what types of commands I should provide. Um, this is what it looks like. If you're already connected to something, it'll use that connection as the default. I tried zooming in here if you can see this. At the top here, it has the active connection. So you can add multiple connections based on your XrmToolbox connections, but there's a concept of one active one. So what that does is when I write a command, I can either specify a connection by name and it'll execute it in that environment, or if I don't, it'll leverage this like active or default connection. So right now, by default, you connect to one, but I can click this add connection here. It's going to pop up the XrmToolbox connections list, and I can add my other connections, and it'll populate it in this box. Now, B Scarlevy is still the active one. I can highlight my other one and click set active if I want to switch which one's active. And then if you're not familiar with the browser profile piece, if you go to your XrmToolbox connections, the connection manager, when you create a connection, you can click this world icon and it lets you pick which browser you use, whether it's Chrome, Edge, or Firefox. And then within the browser, you can pick which profile you want to use for this specific environment. So that's how you set that up. Let's see, it's a little frozen here. Okay, I think we're back locked up for a second there. Okay, so first thing you can do as well is you can click this help button and it'll list out all the possible commands. I know I have my screen a little weird here to try to zoom in. But these kind of show the list of commands and an example of what they do. The kind of notation here is the idea is for every command, I kind of allow different words so you don't have to try to like memorize the exact command. So it's a little bit flexible there, and that's how I notate the, the words you can use. So to get a type code for a specific table, you can say get, you can say find, or retrieve. And then for every command, there's an optional phrase at the end where you can say in environment, where environment is the name of your connection. So if you do that, it'll do it in that specific environment. Otherwise, if you leave that out, it'll use that active connection like I mentioned. So some of the helpful commands right now, a lot of them are more navigation. I can say like go to account and it'll take me to the account form, a new create form basically for that specific environment. I can go to the maker portal. I can go to specific parts of the maker portal. Like if I want to go to the apps or flows, I can open the admin center. I can execute queries. So if I have a fetch XML, I can put it in here and I do have a table output as well to format if you're doing queries or whatnot. So let's see what this looks like. So I can just say, like I mentioned, go to account and do go to account. And if I don't specify an environment and I just hit enter or click execute, that'll take me to my default, which in my case is my bscarlevi, which is my personal environment. It's not, the URL is not named, so I have this org to F1 here. But as you can see, this is the browser profile I use for that environment. So it opens it up and it's taking me right to the new account form. So now I can say go to account, but I can say in R16 dev, hit enter. I use the same browser profile because it's the same tenant, but you can see here, now I'm in root 16 dev. And it's going to take me to the account form in root 16 dev. So you can see how powerful this is. If I have, I can leave this plugin open all day and have all my connections listed, and I can just reference any given one by name. So it helps if you're in multiple different tenants or just if you have a normal dev, test, QA, UAT, or person environments, etc. So I'll show off some of the other commands as well. So some of the ones that aren't navigation. Let's see, one of the nice ones is listing out like attributes for a table. Let's see, attributes. So get attributes for table. So I can say for account, again, I'm not specifying environment, so it's going to do bscarlevi. See how fast and quick that was? It just spits it out in this table output, giving me the display name, the schema names, the data types of these fields on the account. It's really nice is I can like double click any of these and it's going to take me to the maker portal for that specific table that I'm asking about and take me directly to the fields for that specific table. So once this finally loads, I should be able to see all the fields for account. And I'm zoomed in so much it's hard to show this all on camera, but you can see up here I'm in the bscarlevi environment, so it knows in context of where I'm executing this, and you can see it's finally loading the columns for account here. And again, it's in my same browser profile that I have tied to this connection. So yeah, a lot of these navigation ones are extremely helpful. Similar, like I can total table records. I probably don't have many. I might have some. Total account records. 0 records. Okay, so I don't. Let's see. Root 16 dev should have more, I believe. So if I say R16 dev, there you go. That gives me a different result. And that's, I think you get the idea. That's the general gist of this tool. Right now, there's not a lot of commands. The helpful ones are more the navigation ones. I can go right to the maker portal, but there are some where I can execute fetch and it'll use this table output to show me the records. And then it's the same concept where I can double click that record and it'll take me right to that record in that specific environment. So a lot of helpful stuff here, especially again, if the main key is that you have on a daily basis. You're potentially going into multiple different environments. This is where it comes in handy the most. So it's out there live. If you search the tool library for XrmCommander, you should be able to install it. If not, let me know. Comment on this video. Comment on the video for any feedback, good or bad, any suggestions on what commands I know I need to update. I need to make a command to allow updating of records. And I'm sure there's a lot of variety of things that I could put in here that would be useful to you. So let me know, and hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.